So good morning to all. Good morning. Once again, I am Saravanan. I am a part of ICT Academy. I head the marketing functions of ICT Academy. So very glad to host this Sky Campus Season 6. With this, let me formally introduce Mr. Ganesh for this today's session. So today we have with us Mr. Ganesh, who is the consulting partner and the digital leader of the largest IT organization, which is known to everyone, which is Wipro Technologies Limited. So today we have with them to deliver a speech on the topic 5G as an enabler digital transformation. So this is the topic which he has given, and we have chosen to have the session today. And to say some more thing about our expert speaker, he has 25 years of experience in various expertise from IT to banking and finance to communication and media, and he's also played diverse leadership roles in various leading organizations. So he's always passionate about the emerging technologies like AI, ML, blockchain, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and virtual reality, and of course 5G is also his area of expertise. So in the current role and in Wipro, he is responsible for 5G Solutions Initiative, which is in the CTO, which will focus on the digital emerging edge and IoT space. So prior to Wipro, Sir was with leading organizations like Tata Consultancy Services and Capgemini. So he is also not a IT guy. He is also a teacher like all of you. He is also passionate about teaching, and he is also visiting a faculty member in most of the engineering and management colleges across Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana for that matter. And we are very happy to have you, sir, with us on behalf of the educators across various parts of the country and ICT Academy. We welcome you for this season 6 of Sky Campus Digital Knowledge Series 2020. So as we said in the beginning, it is a digital knowledge series, and we don't want to take much of the time as majority of the faculties was insisting about the technology. So we thought 5G is the important technology, which as a technology leader, as your designation also says, you are a digital leader in the technology spectrum. So none other than you can speak about this 5G technology. So with this few introduction, I will hand over the session to Mr. Ganesh, sir, to take the session forward for next 45 to 50 minutes. So welcome you, sir, and over to you.
Thank you, Saravanan. Thank you, everyone. And really appreciate that on a Monday morning, all of you joining. And I'm very honored. And my salutations to all the educators, because this is the most difficult time where, you have to continue online teaching. Plus, that's where technology like 5G is even more relevant today than what it was earlier. So my salutations to all of you, and hope I am able to, the experience that I'll bring across, you find it valuable and useful to yourself and your organization. So the topic, why I choose digital transformation, never has been this becoming so critical than what it is today in the COVID situation, because what we thought ourselves that some of this digital transformation initiatives, etc., which has been there for over a decade. It's not that it's new. Earlier we used to call it as smart technology, social media, analytics, cloud, mobility. They have been there, but now this is going to the next level, and it's all the more bringing across a very new dimensions into the way we are living in the society, and the way we are going to going forward as well. Probably what we call as the new norm of our living in the society, in coexistence with what we call as a traditional and the digital world. In fact, one of the thing, digital acceleration, what was, if you would have seen this news, these are all the news during this last couple of weeks, when everybody is I remember some of my customers, they coming across and saying that this is good proposition, but probably it may take 5 years or 10 years for us to realize it. and make value out of it. But today, because of the disruption and the turbulence that we see across in the industry, right? Whatever we looked at very long is today looking at something in few months. Some of the technologies are expected to be rolled out. So that's the type of speed. From what was years, now it is becoming into few months. And this is, you could see there was one of the CEO Satya Nadella from Microsoft. He himself has said that we saw 2 years of digital transformation in 2 months during the COVID, right? Similarly, many of the telecom leaders and communication service provider leaders, they all have been saying that the connectivity is becoming even more important now than it was earlier. What was consumed for a year, the type of bandwidth, the type of capacity, it's now consumed in a month, right? During the lockdown, because everybody is connected. As we speak, everybody in most of our family, they are connected in some way or the other to the network. The everybody sitting at home are either connected to watching the movies or the news, etc., through the broadband. People are learning online. People are buying food stuff or groceries, etc., online. So everything is moving towards more and more online and mobile, and that is nothing but consumption of a big capacity of bandwidth. And we are also seeing that areas like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, cloud, the IoT, all these things are also playing, getting accelerated more and more. And already the leaders, the new age leaders like Google, Amazons, and all are saying that this is going to be the place where connectivity and the way and 5G is one way of connectivity. There will be others like in terms of Wi-Fi 6 and 6G, 10G. So connectivity and bandwidth will keep on increasing going forward as our applications and the way of our approach is going to change. And in the COVID situation, one of the key thing is that if you see really that 5G already started taking shape, especially during the pre-search, when contact tracing was extremely important, when it was very important to isolate facilities, the containment areas. There was one part of area where a lot of technology started playing a very critical role. During the search part of it, again, in terms of remote monitoring, remote health monitoring, right? Because even for the doctors and the medical staff in an hospital, it was not very easy for them to really do health monitoring and checkups as what it used to typically happen. So a lot of remote and mobile health monitoring started taking shape. ICUs and there was a sudden surge in ICU, and we would see that some of the stadiums, etc., are converted into hospitals and ICUs. So that was another area. Robotic, in terms of sanitization, distribution of medicines, in terms of providing food to the patients. These were all taking shape during the peak, and especially in terms of how do you geofence and segment and further in terms of also monitoring the surveillance in terms of social distancing, telehealth, sentinel surveillance in terms of seeing that which are the areas where the contamination is becoming. If you see all this, what you're seeing in your screen, they are all having a very big focus with regard to the broadband. They have a very, very critical aspect with regard to the low latency that it needs to carry, because areas like monitoring and contact tracing, the action has to be very immediate. So many of the information needs to be extremely real time. And third is important is in terms of how machine to machine communications are taking shape. All these are the basis on which the 5G has been designed as well. So if we are saying that something it's coming up, the answer is that it's already come up. It's just that in some areas it is 5G is already rolled out, but in some areas with 4G and 4G advanced, this is already getting into motion. And we are living in a very changing world. We have too many devices, right? We can see the devices at home itself. You are having devices which are smart in terms of smart refrigerators, smart washing machine, or smartphones and smart watches, etc., right? So devices are many. A lot of data is getting generated through the devices. There is a big demand in terms of latency, low latency, especially in critical areas, like as I mentioned, healthcare. A lot of new regulations and privacy laws are coming into the play. sensors, even devices are becoming very cheap. And again, AI is playing a very critical role in terms of recommendation and creating more and more contextual and relevant insights in the changing world. So a lot of things are happening. And what is defining the need for 5G is this digital experience. Maybe this photograph of Namaste that you would see, maybe had it been not a COVID situation, I would have put an handshake, but now I changed it consciously, keeping COVID in mind, and to Namaste. And you see what we are trying to see across is we are talking about real and remote. That we will see in every aspect of business something as which we call it as real, like going to a store for buying something is real. And probably I may also use e-commerce to buy my groceries, foodstuff, right? I'm talking about traditional and I'm talking about digital. It could be my traditional way of doing banking, or it will be my digital ways of doing banking. And the more important thing is now the competition is more and more with not man and man, but it's man and machine. So it's all the more important that we have to be relevant in the changing world with regard to machines. Only our relevance will come only when we are better than the machines, or we are able to do things which machines are not able to. And there is a bigger value of what man brings to the table in terms of skills and competency. So this is going to come across more and more in terms of the way the things are getting shaped. And this is a hybrid model. So for everything, there will be a hybrid model, right? In the way our new lifestyle could change. It could be like, in terms of retail, as I mentioned, I may go to store nearby. I may also do purchase on the online. In my education, I may go to my classroom. I may also do online education. In my work, in fact, in especially areas like IT, you would already be seeing news where major part of percentage of workforce is already being looked across from working from home. So some of the industries, even will look at, hybrid model about where you need to work from home, where you need to work from offices, right? So this brings across a very, very new dimensions in the way the experience will get redefined and reinvented. And this is where 5G is the need. 5G will be an enabler in this whole aspect. In fact, 5G, if you see, just to give you a brief history about it, right, of the way the mobile communication, if you see the 1980s, we had our typical phone, or the voice communications that used to happen then, right? With 90s came across where we had a voice, and we also used texting and messages across into the play. With 3G coming into the play in the 2000s, we started looking at internet, emails, some form of small videos, or slow videos coming into the play. And when we had the 4G and the 5G coming into the play, now we are talking about mobile broadband, we are talking about cloud, we are already talking about new experiences with AR, VR, right? Virtual reality is becoming more and more a real now. IoT driven insights and solutions are becoming more and more real. Cloud gaming, telemedicines, and a whole lot of applications that are changing in the new world. So these are all happening with 4G and 5G into the play. And if you see a brief of this thing, right, we had a set of different technologies. Speed was about 14 kbps then in 1G, right? It slowly moved to 300 kbps. You had texting. Now we are talking about 42, 3G had a 42 mbps type of a thing. We had a different, applications coming into the play. Now we are talking about, with 4G was already 100 plus mbps. Now we are talking about more than a gigahertz speed. So this brings across a totally new dimension in the way the applications will be redesigned, the way the consumption and use of the applications will take, and the way it's a big leap. It's not a incremental leap from 1G to 2G to 3G to 4G. If you see, they were a very incremental leap in terms of every decade. But now it is a leap which is more about redefining the way businesses will shape themselves with this new technology into the play. And this is where we will see a lot of new startups, a lot of new age companies coming into the play, which who will be a challenger to the traditional businesses. And what is the difference between 4G and 5G? When I said the type of bandwidth and all, we are talking about everything 10x, right? What we are talking about, 10 we are talking about 10 or 40 millisecond with 4G. Now we are talking about 1 millisecond or less than 1 millisecond, a type of a view, right? What we are talking about peak data downloads about 1 gigabytes per second. Now we are talking about 20 gigabytes per second, right? The connection density in terms of, per kilometer square is getting into, to 10 million to 100 million type of a scenario. So a whole lot of everything is becoming 10x, right? And that is where exactly it's very important to understand that what does this 10x means. The 10x means is that the more you have the capacity, the more you will have new integration of emerging technologies coming together. The more with that brings across a new set of applications, new set of products and services that will get innovated, a new set of open industry collaborations that will happen. And then again, it's the way a new set of consumer base will get created, who will transition to this and who will capitalize this part of the thing. So this is what exactly is important to understand. So the way the industry is looking across is they know that this is coming. But what they are trying to do is they are trying to look at all these things in the 4G world itself. With 4G, with the type of speed it provides, they are looking at, already starting to look at in terms of the applications, in terms of the, devices with 4G. And then slowly they will transition to the 5G, 6G and other, technologies that will come forward. So it's a big leap that we see between 4G and 5G. And the three important things that we need to understand. One, machine-to-machine communications will take a big shape. Two, latency will be very, very low. Reliability will be extremely high. And third, and important will be in terms of the speed that it will provide, will create a totally new experience, right? So one is, 5G will bring differentiated and guaranteed service, very, very context, very, very specific, very, very personalized. Network will become more intelligent. Network will be aware of applications, and application vice versa will be aware of network. Probably a person with a 3G or a 4G network watching a movie or a song or getting into a tunnel, and suddenly the network changes, right? Today's his experience will get disrupted. But in future, the network will know that the person with the edge and other things coming into the play, the person will beforehand know that there is in next 50 meters, 100 meters of the location, that there is a so-and-so person watching a so-and-so content in a so-and-so application. And then, accordingly, the bandwidth has to be auto-scaled, right? Or the application will also have to have the understanding whether the content has to be compressed to a different, size and scale, so that the contextualness will be extremely high between the network and application. Third is in terms of the density of the equipment, user equipments coming into the play, and also in terms of the energy consumptions that it will bring into the table, and also, and most important, the cost effectiveness that it will call out. So all these things are seen across as some of the big imperatives that will push 5G going forward. In fact, already 50 plus operators across the globe are already commercially live in 5G. If you look at some of the newses from SK Telecom or Korea Telecom, some of the newses from Verizon and AT&T and T-Mobile, some of the newses that you will look at from Vodafone or Deutsche Telekom in Europe, or Etisalat or Ooredoo from Middle East, you will see that they are already commercially live. Many of them are commercially live, and they are all looking at, seeing this as a very big business opportunity, and the way it will transform the industries and the consumer behavior. So, and this technology also brings some of the very new perspective. One is in terms of virtualization. So we are talking about, everything becoming software defined, and network function virtualization infrastructure is going to play a very critical role. We have new 5G radios with small cells coming into the play. Network slicing is becoming a very big theme, because I can actually slice for a particular requirement, and provide that bandwidth only for that requirement for a particular duration or in a particular region. Mobile edge computing is playing a very big role. Mobile edge computing, also called as multi-access level edge computing, this is playing a very big role, because the clients, the devices, the access, this is where most of the processing is happening. Unlike server side earlier the server side was becoming the big focus. Now it is everything becoming more towards client and more towards the access, where closer to the customer, so that the latency can be handled and extreme personalization can be handled, right? And with this, there are other technologies that are also supporting with the 5G. They are getting enabled big way. So robotics and drones, as I said, in COVID situation, it became a very big focus, because you saw in hospitals robotics. If you do some Google, YouTube and Google search, you will see that in many hospitals in Europe and China and many other places, robotics was used big times in terms of dispensing medicines or food, gear, etc. Drones was used in a big way in terms of look for contact tracing, to understand that is there any specific containment areas or areas, high risk areas, where they need to do a better monitoring, right? So we saw that IoT playing a very big role in terms of sensors, with multiple devices and all having passing on information and data. Analytics and artificial intelligence sitting on an edge was able to process the information and provide more extreme personalization in that perspective. And last important is also AR VR type of technology started playing a very critical role. Areas where augmented reality defined remote assistance. For example, a person is taking cannot go today in person, either to provide any services or support of an equipment. He can remotely advise with AR, telling that how the equipment can be configured or handled or set up, etc., to be done, right? Or through virtual reality, one can actually teleport themselves to see. If you cannot go to the hospital because of containment, and if there is a possibility, sitting at home, you can feel you are sitting in the ICU room and so closer to the patient to monitor and check. So there are many such aspects of 5G, which are getting enabled with other supporting technologies into the play. So to look at 5G as only connectivity, then that is not where the real value comes. To look at 5G holistically in the full gamut of network, infrastructure, content, applications. And applications is where the biggest, focus will be, because with this capacity, now you can have a totally new way of doing things, which probably we would not have thought earlier. And there's a big opportunity, and because of this, there's a big opportunity that has opened up, right? If you see, this is already in fact, if you see about a year or so back, it was almost about a 1 trillion type of a market. Now, because of this COVID situation, it has gone little bit, it has come down a bit, because the industries are now going through a lot of turbulence and challenges that they're facing through. But still, you will see the percentages in terms of retail. Out of 700 billion, retail is 4%, or media is about 10%, or healthcare is about 21%, right? We are talking about almost about 150 billion in next 10 years being used in healthcare with 5G as an enabler, or public safety will have about 70 billion. So there's a big market of 700 billion that you see across different enterprises. And this is a report from Ericsson. There are other reports. You will see lot of different reports giving you different insights, but typically somewhere around 700 to a trillion will be what will be the market space that it will get defined in the coming years. What would look like 2030 could come in next 5 years itself, because of the way the acceleration is happening in the new changing world, right? And as I said, more the 5G is already live in 24 markets, and about around 50 operators are already commercially live. There are some of the concepts that we need to really understand, which are very, very, what I would call it as a 5G concepts, because this from a network perspective, they are creating a new way of how between network and applications now, in the way it is getting addressed. So one of the thing is called as the millimeter wave. Second is in terms of beam forming, massive multiple input, multiple output coming together, full duplex, network as a service and orchestration, multi-tiered network architecture, network slicing, cloud radio access network architecture, and the control and user plane separation. These are some of the concepts that we are seeing playing a very critical role. In short, if you have to call it out, what is 4G and what is 5G in a brief, right? I will say 4G is something like 4G plus cloud, plus software-defined network and NFV, the network function virtualization. To me, this bundled together is what I would call as 4G advanced as an infrastructure. And when I say 4G 5G, I will call it as this 4G advanced plus a new radio, plus a the control and user plane separation and edge. What I will call it as a 5G definition. In short, looking at the concept, right? So it is nothing but what do you say? A, a elevation of the whole network architecture and infrastructure that is coming into the thing. And let us take each one of them, right? What is MM wave? MM wave is millimeter wave is a higher frequency. Means it provides you a lot of capacity and bandwidth over a shorter range, right? These cells broadcast, a signal up to a few hundred meters from the base station, right? And you will see them, in the areas where you have this, wherever there is crowd, right? Whether it is in railway stations or airports or in stadiums or in shopping malls, etc., right? Will benefit a lot with this type of capability coming into the play. Massive multiple input and multiple output, right? Is again, is nothing but, bringing together a group of antennas at the transmitter and receiver to provide better throughput, okay, and better spectrum efficiency will get defined by that. So this is all will lead to a lot of better coverage, better capacity, and a lot of resilience that it will bring together, between the base stations and the devices. Beamforming is again something to do with traffic signaling. This is more, this will create more of a contextual aspect in terms of defining the most efficient data delivery routing for a particular user, in terms of the way the users services or function services are getting consumed. It will accordingly provide a lot of value in that area, and it will reduce, most importantly, the interferences that occur in the whole in the user in the whole process. The full duplex is another area in terms of, with 5G. These are all little technical. I'm just trying to give you this concept more to tell you that how each one is bringing coverage, value in terms of capacity, in terms of reducing interferences, right? And so I'm just drilling, each of this in itself is a big topic, and you need a separate session only for each one of that of the blocks. But just to give you a view of how the network is getting redefined, I'm just putting this as a brief pieces to understand. And these are very critical to understand from a network, how it changes from 4G to 5G now. And then full duplex is also playing a very critical role. Again, here we are talking about frequency division duplexing system, right? That transmit on a continuous basis, and it will enable devices to achieve cell rates farther from the base station. So that is one thing that full duplex will bring into the table. Again, it's all about how it will how the transmission and the receiving of the data, right, all happening at the same frequency. That's where this plays a very useful perspective. Network as a service and orchestration. So everything is becoming software defined network, very virtualized network architecture, infrastructure, open APIs coming into the play. Multi-domain orchestration is becoming a becoming a big focus with 5G coming into the play. Multi-tiered network architecture is again, in terms of bringing combination, right, of macro cells, small cell relays, device-to-device network. Right. This is again a very important concept to call out and understand. These are all the core pieces of the 5G, or very unique pieces of the 5G that we really need to understand deep dive if you are from a telecom and a technology background to really look at all these concepts. Network slicing, as I mentioned, you can provide different slices of the network to operate at the physical hardware for different type of applications and services. The cloud radio access network architecture brings across a lot of this combination of virtualization and centralization into the play, and also coordination among all of them, because it's very important that unlike the earlier aspect where you had a lot of handshakes that were happening, right, between various equipments and tools. Now it is becoming more software defined, so there is a whole lot of automation taking place and a whole lot of integrations with coming into the play. So it's very seamless. And the last is in terms of this control and user plane separation. This is again a very important concept to understand, to separate the what we call it as a evolved packet core into a control plane that can sit in centralized location somewhere in terms of the macro cell, in a centralized location of a particular region. And then there is a user plane, and for the user plane it can sit across very closer to the application that it is supporting. So there is a separation that is happening between the packet core of information between the centralized location and the user plane that is closer to the application. So these are some of the concepts to call out. But the very simple thing, if you want to understand, is that there is something called as the device. There is a radio access network. There is an access network. There is a access network. There is a core network, and there is a centralized cloud. You will see a lot of these devices, whether the sensors, etc., capturing information, pushing the same to the network, in terms of where you will have your radio access network, which will have all the user information, location information, network information. There will be access network where you will have your edge infrastructure, where applications will be onboarded on that edge infrastructure, applications like analytics, artificial intelligence, etc. There will be core network in terms of where all the whole orchestration and the network virtualization and all the packet core and other aspects from the core network perspective will be there, and then there will be a server side of a cloud which will host a lot of these applications where you need to manage the compute and the storage and other things into the play. So it will have this will be a brief of in terms of how each of these areas are going through a major transformation. The core is getting transformed, access is getting transformed, the device is getting transformed, and the applications will require a lot of refactoring coming into the play in terms of understanding what will sit on the edge, what will sit on the cloud side across. So to give you this view is mainly to give that a lot of preparation is required when you are actually getting into 5G. So it's not that while we are talking about that so many good things about 5G, when it comes to implementation, there is a lot of touch points that needs to be addressed in terms of the way the 5G enablement will happen. And that is where we are seeing enterprises in the journey of their digital transformation are starting with 4G and 4G advanced, trying to look at applications, trying to look at what application should how the application architecture and the overall enterprise architecture needs to be modernized and replatformed. And again, one more important point that I would like to bring here is it's the way, as I said in the earlier slide, 5G is just an enabler, right? It provides you with that type of a capacity, low latency, etc. The real perspective will come into the play when we understand that there is a hybrid aspect to the way business will function, the way consumer will start working through. The second part of it is the customer journey. In terms of customer journey, when I mentioned, I as a persona, I have been traditionally going to the shop and purchasing my food and groceries. But in the new world of digital, I have two options. I have the shop, I have the online channel. I will go to the shop, understanding the perspectives of social distancing, etc. And shops will also have to accordingly define how the consumer's pattern. Earlier, one used to go to the shop, you could spend 30 minutes, 1 hour across. Today, you stand 5 people stand outside the shop. Only the first few people complete the shopping, then the other people are allowed. That's what I have seen in my area where I stay. And so what used to be that, so easy to enter the shop, now I need to wait for 15 minutes or 20 minutes. So where I used to go frequent to buy some things, now I go only once in a week in terms of, doing my shopping. So my shopping habits are getting changed big time, right? So this customer journey, similarly at the shop, right? There are some shops who are bringing value in terms of telling that, sir, you have purchased last time these 10 items. Are you looking for the same? Or this is your monthly typical buying pattern. So this, we have it ready, packed for you, kept ready. You can just come, take it, and go away. So even the stores, they don't want you to stay back and do window shopping or trying to. They want to be very, very, because they have so many people to handle, and they are also constrained by social distancing. So shopping is becoming a new way of doing it. Similarly, since I'm going only once in a week, the other parts of the day, if there is a need, I use online channel. So my customer journey as me as a persona is changing big time into the whole play. So my applications, my devices, my system, my infrastructure, everything needs to be redefined, keeping that in view. So most important thing, the starting point of 5G is the point of how we understand the business, how we understand the consumer behavior, how we redefine the customer journey, and then come across to the place where we define our architecture according to the requirements of the businesses and the consumers behavior pattern. So this is just so readiness of 5G is a big area, and one has to look at it. It will be different for different countries. It will be very, very contextual to a region. What may work in one place may not work in another place. And in fact, you would see that even now, Department of Telecommunications, etc., the DOT and all are inviting people to come up with use cases that are very pertaining to our country, our current need, right? Because we have to understand that for any use cases to realize, we have to see how this brings value, what type of business case it creates, what type of return on investment it brings to the table, and then only the investment will go through. So there is a whole lot of preparation that needs to happen before even 5G gets rolled out. So it will take a couple of years, especially for country like our country to really commercialize it. But then readiness is happening in a big way. A lot of our operators are already ready in many cases, and we will probably see this soon getting rolled out into the play. There is another big factor that 5G brings into the table. One is in the aspect of private network, right? We are seeing some of the concepts like software-defined wide area network becoming a foundation towards the enabling 5G. We are also seeing new spectrums like unlicensed spectrum. We call it a shared spectrum. From citizen broadband radio service. A lot of countries, they have started giving this capacity of spectrum. So if you see, there is always in a telco world that there are three types of bands: low band, mid band, and high band. And you'll see typically, low band is anything less than 1 gigahertz speed. Mid band falls under anything above 1 gigahertz to 3 gigahertz, and anything above 6 gigahertz, you get into the I-band spectrum, and that goes almost to 100 gigahertz. So that's the type of capacity we will see with the MM-wave coming into the play. So lot of this, what it will bring is you can have private network now for your campuses, especially large campuses. They can create their own private network. Campuses that are like mini township, with hospitals, with education institutes, with research labs, also providing enablement to some other enterprise businesses. They can all bring across. They can all be have their own private network with 5G coming in, with 5G. And network slicing, I already mentioned. Right, you can provide different slicing for different type of requirement. Right, example, there is a IPL match, important final of the match, and I'm expecting some 25 million people coming into my OTT platform to view the match. Right now, my platform may not be able to provide, and I'm also streaming 4K or 8K type of a video content. I need to have a slice from my operator to say that, hey, for this particular match, I need this capacity of bandwidth. to ensure my experience is delivered seamlessly for a load of 25 million who will be watching this match. So operator will provide that a slice of that capacity to the broadcaster to say that for this important event, this is the slice. So you can get it at the application level, you can get it at a services level, right? And so this is one of the very unique concepts that we will see with 5G coming into the play. This was not available in the 4G, but with 5G, you will see network slicing playing a very critical role. I have already told you that there are a lot of supporting technologies that we are already talking about. Edge will be a very important arena. You will hear more and more of edge as 5G gets enabled. We are already seeing it, but you will see more after 5G. And here, what we will see more of access edge and device edge playing a very critical role. So your clients are becoming more smarter. Your devices, like at home, my smartphone, my set-top boxes, they are becoming more smarter, right? Most of my processing is happening on that device edge rather than what would happen typically on the cloud. IoT is playing a very critical role. All the area smart lightings, smart bins, water in a smart agriculture. You will see IoT playing a very critical role around that in terms of water conservation, manual, provision for a agriculture crops, etc. A lot of information from IoT will be enabled through IoT and 5G coming together. Drones and robotics, computer vision, we are already seeing this happening big way. You will see huge retailers who have a inventory. In fact, this is something that I demonstrated last year, in fact, couple of months back, where in a big warehouse where you have so many thousands of goods, and warehouse itself has so many people and all. In many cases, you will not know what goods are there where, and a drone can just scan through that entire set of goods, fetch the information, push it on an application and a edge, and give you more real-time information. So your whole inventory management, supply chain, logistics, everything can be very, very effectively handled through drones and robotics. Areas like contact tracing, which we saw in COVID, drone can do a very unique role. In fact, in some countries, even the food distribution and medicine distribution was done by drones. So that's how drone is playing a very critical role. Again, you need 5G as an enabler. With edge coming into the play, analytics and artificial intelligence will be sitting on the edge and giving more extreme personalization. So the one will know on a location, know the persona's preference, emotions, and accordingly contextualize and provide real-time insights and inputs to the persona. So analytics and artificial intelligence will play a very critical role. In fact, areas like, for example, where a 360-degree content is getting streamed across on an OTT platform, through the OTT platform, and a person is viewing at the sky, a API of AccuWeather will get invoked, and it will provide a view of the weather information to the person. Whereas for somebody else, based on his or her field of viewing, specific information will be processed and pushed. So analytics and AI will play a very critical role. Security and blockchain, again, very, very important, because you are talking about open industry collaboration. Say, example, insurance, right? Today, a scenario can be that an accident has happened, and a drone can fly, scan through the entire place, and pass on the information to the insurance about the fleet, about the individual, about the type of accident, etc., all on a real-time basis. So again, so you have healthcare, you have insurance, you have so many different industries coming together. Blockchain can play a very critical role. 5G security will be very different, because you have devices, you have access, you have on-premise networks, you have telco network, you have got cloud infrastructure. A lot of new vulnerabilities will start playing a very critical piece. So 5G security is a very critical area to look. And most important, immersive content and AR, VR will create a new experience, right? A experience where the person will be teleported. Today, probably I may not be able to go to the stadium even if it is open today, but I can have a VR gear and I can actually connect myself or teleport myself to the stadium to watch the match, right? Enabled again with 5G.
remote enablement, remote monitoring, remote surgery, remote field assistance. They can all be, AR enabled, and, through digital advisory services or digital training, they can all create a new way of learning, new way of providing advisory services, new way of doing, a new way of assistance that it can provide in future. So these are all the supporting technologies that can reach a new level in terms of consumer and the enterprise products and services. And all this will require a 5G enablement, because ultimately when we are talking about 5G, we are talking about three things: enhanced broadband, low latency, and machine-to-machine communication. And these are some of the, this gives you the, how massive machine type of communication, what we see in terms of smart cities, where I was talking about smart lighting, smart water management, smart surveillance. That's where how sensors will play a very important role. Smart transportation, in an area where today I may know when the next bus is coming, but if I want to have information that the next bus this bus is very crowded, the next bus will come with only 20% capacity that is utilized, 80% there is option for me to sit, then I will accordingly probably wait for 5 minutes and take the bus. Today I may not get that information, but with 5G this can become a reality. Or it can tell me that for the next 30 minutes you are going to get buses with full capacity, but there is other option. If you take a different map route to reach, you may probably reach in 17 minutes or 15 minutes, etc. And you can accordingly trace yourself in terms of deciding which transportation you want to prefer and which way you want to go with. So a lot of insights it will bring, lot of data that will get processed on the edge, and that's where massive machine to type of communications will play a very critical role. Ultra reliable and low latency communication, I already mentioned. Areas like your autonomous vehicles, healthcare, right? These are all they demand very, very low latency, mission critical applications, right? Remote surgery is happening. You can't afford any form of latency. So that's where ultra reliable and low latency will play a role. Experience, you will see enhanced mobile broadband coming into the play with ultra high definition content getting streamed to your device. Cloud gaming is again a very where your multiple player playing a game. Then how that will be handled. That requires a high mobile broadband capacity. So for different use cases, different approaches will be there. But this gives you a snapshot of how the application of 5G will take place in the new industry, in the changing industry dynamics. Some of the use cases to call out, media entertainment, I just mentioned, cloud gaming, ambient ads. Ambient ads means that, today ads are getting slotted, but tomorrow if I'm on the move, I will exactly, the system knows me as a persona. My information is available. The data is, my location is known. My purpose is known. And then it will tell you, hey, typically you have your food at around 12:30. You like a continental food. You are in so and so location. In next 50 meters, if you go, there is a restaurant that will provide you with that similar food, and you will get an offer of 20%. So what is happening? My whole ad is dynamically created. The information about me is known. My purpose is known. My the ads or the brand ad is getting detected, or the brand is getting detected, and the whole offers or the digital marketing or campaigns is becoming more more real, right? And probably after 1 hour the same offer may not exist. Manufacturing, again, we have smart screwdrivers, smart welding machines, etc. So a lot of cobots are playing a very critical role. Autonomous vehicle, needless to say, all the driverless cars coming into will all becoming a more of a reality, and which will have a lot of sensors, lot of applications which will control and manage it. Remote production maintenance across on the machineries, advisory, machine advisory, you say, especially when you have so many medical equipments or any manufacturing equipments itself. It will have a lot of knowledge that one needs to derive, lot of maintenance and support that needs to be planned. This can all be enabled through AR, VR. Asset can be monitored in terms of their performance, in terms of their usability, etc. Healthcare, I gave you examples in terms of remote health monitoring, Connected hospitals. Today, doctor may be typically looking at about say 20 patients in a day, but tomorrow with you can improve your doctor to patient ratio, especially in pandemic when your daily patients are increasing. It's extremely difficult even for the medical community to provide that type of services. So through remote healthcare, can I improve the doctor patient ratio, right? Again, remote monitoring with IoT, where wearables are there, smart watch, smart, whatever the smart devices, that can push in the data of your health, which the doctor can monitor on a real-time basis and tell you what needs to be done remotely. So where the doctor was doing today 20 patients, he can improve the ratio by attending to 100 patients in a day. Retail and logistics, again, as I mentioned, some of the remote assistance in terms of AR, VR assistive shopping, right? Sitting at home, if I want to look at a product or a just-in-time, manufacturing is to be done. Connected supply chain in terms of which shop needs what type of goods at what time. See, this COVID brought across a lot of new insights. When suddenly the announcement of lockdown happened, there was a panic, and there were a lot of people who actually gathered. There was aggressive buying, right? People wanted to buy sanitizers, all this wellness products in abundance, and also stock it, also groceries and food also. So again, how does the supply chain across needs to be handled at such scenarios, right? Again, here 5G can play with providing smart intelligence to tell in terms of route, getting an insight, what is lying where, what is moving fast where, right? And also providing confidence to the consumer, saying that you don't worry, this is some sufficient stock there, it will last for another 3 months. You may not need to panic, right? So many of these insights and info, it can pass it on a real-time basis. Transportation, I mentioned, smart community in terms of smart lighting, emergency services, public safety, right? In energy utilities, your smart grid, the smart asset monitoring in terms of your oil rigs, etc. Education, very adaptive learning. One of the very new thing that is coming across is online learning is becoming more and more. While it is easier for people to for senior classes or higher education side, but if you have to do an online training for a preschool, how difficult it will be, because one of the thing is the child may not be tuned to sit in front of the collaboration tool like Zoom. At the same time, the teacher in the pre-primary need to dance or sing extras. It creates a totally a new struggle for both the teachers as well as for the children, right? So there, how can you bring AR VR into the play? Can you bring a new aspect of how the child sitting at home, without wearing a device or with wearing the device as well, can get teleported to its classroom and learn it in the same way sitting at home. Smart campuses in terms of with all the IoT enabled, can it bring new insights? Can it reduce cost by smart lighting, water conservation, etc.? Public safety and trust and safety, again, especially in many areas where anomalies of the students or children have to be detected well in advance. Again, 5G can play a very critical role. Financial services, as I mentioned, IoT and drone enabled services to inspect a damage claim, or mobile branch coming into the play. Payments, multi-factor authentication in payments happening via different type of variables. Risk assessment in commercial fleet telematics. So many different use cases we can look at. So I think in the interest of, we are closer to the thing, and what I wanted to bring across key message was, one, 5G is not just connectivity, it is totally a new way of product and service innovation. Two, you have the capacity, but it requires an understanding of how we look at an hybrid model where man and machine coexist, real and remote coexist, traditional and digital coexist. And hence customer journey becomes a very critical part. Third, it's not just having a connectivity, but it's what do I do with that? So all the other supporting technologies also requires an equal or a proper understanding in terms of the application. And last and most important thing is while all these things are shaping up, and we are looking at a new norm. But in underlying the aspect is the customer journey. How in each region, each country, each location, how the applicability will be there. Accordingly, the use cases has to be designed and approached. So these are few thoughts on the way the digital transformation will shape with 5G as an enabler, and that's what I had for you. Hope you find this session useful, and thank you for your patient listening. Thank you.
So thank you very much for spending your Monday morning with us, and thank you very much educators across India who was a good audience as usual, and thank you very much from ICT Academy to the expert speaker Ganesh and the audience of today. We will catch you by tomorrow 10 a.m. On the another expert session by another expert. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you everyone. Thank you.